Earlier this year, we told you about a report from UNL's Institute of Agriculture and Natural Resources that showed the average temperature in Nebraska would increase anywhere from 4 to 9 degrees by the end of this century. The report was featured in the first Heuermann Lecture series presentation of 2014. Of the 4 lectures this year, 2 center around climate change and 1 will discuss genetic modification. Ronnie Green is the Institute's Vice Chancellor and also serves as Vice President of the University of Nebraska system. We talked with him recently about these topics, which are arguably 2 of the most controversial around agriculture today, and asked why he felt it was important to highlight these issues.
Well, different reasons for the 2. The climate change area in particular is one that has such big potential ramifications, already having ramifications on agriculture for us locally in Nebraska, but certainly regionally, nationally, globally, it's a major issue and challenge that lies ahead for us. And so we felt that it was very important to bring attention to that. These are the kinds of things that we need to be planning for in the way that we produce food and fiber and feed from our industries, and what that means.
Yeah, let's talk about genetic engineering. Number one, how has agriculture not been able to secure consumer acceptance to this, and how do they then go about trying to inform consumers about what GE products are?
Well, you know, I can remember when the first genetic engineering discussions first began to be talked about. And as you know, and some of your listeners will know, I'm a geneticist by trade. And so I remember in the 1980s when this began to be discussed, the technologies were coming online where we could begin to think about what might we be able to do if we could transfer this characteristic into a genome and get that expressed in the genome in a way that would be positive and create a positive attribute to a plant species or to an animal species ultimately. The initial products that have been put into the marketplace very successfully for very good reason with very big impact. The BT products, huge impact on the agricultural industry and the production sector, have been production enhancements, not health enhancements. Taking like the recently approved potato, for example, that Simplot is now bringing to market, that has characteristics relative to the product itself, right? So anti-browning, so that reduces waste, reduces the food waste problem that's huge out in our public. And oh, by the way, there's a health benefit to this thing too. In the content, the chemical profile and nutrient content of the potato that is good for human health, right? Yeah. So let's go backward and think 30 years ago. If that had been the first product, instead of BT products on the production side, I'm speculating, but I believe there would have been a different reaction.
It seems like the supporters and those in opposition to climate change and genetic engineering are at times conflicting. And what I mean by that is sometimes on one side they'll believe the science, and on the other side they won't believe the science.
Yeah. So I had the opportunity to be involved in leading a debate at the Sigma Xi conclave, the International Sigma Xi conclave in Arizona in November. And Sigma Xi is the honor society for science. So it's an organization made up of a large number of scientists around the world. And an interesting thing came out of that debate, because I asked the group around the table, so these 40 people, do you believe the science that indicates that the climate is changing because of these various reasons, and what the implications can be of that change in the future? And I took a poll, so raise your hand. 100% of the people in the room raised their hand, okay? Realizing 2/3 of these people were scientists by trade. Then I asked them, now let's switch to GMOs and GMO products and labeling of GMO products. Do you believe the science that has gone into the production of those products, the safety and use of those products, and the science that says they are absolutely safe to be used? Roughly 1/3 of the hands went up. So there's a real, I guess the word I would use, disconnect, is you have 2/3 of the room who are scientists, who are trained in the scientific method, who believe in the process of science, who are discounting the science on one side and completely believing the science on another side. And I could use 3 or 4 or 5 other examples that you could get the same result. So to me, that says there are other things out there driving beliefs and an understanding of some of these technologies than the science.
The next Heuermann Lecture takes place January 13th at 7 p.m. on Innovation Campus. The discussion will focus on genetically modified animals.